Well, we got Heath Schwer out of the deep freeze from last week, and he's back. Okay, so we make some decisions on the show.
Okay.
And one of them was to go with a Tuesday taping to get the Monday night game in. We look like
good
geniuses
decision.
after last night.
Great decision, right?
So you were in Corpus Christi. You flew some corporate jet or, I don't know, space shuttle or whatever over there and got there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Somebody gave you a free ride, of course. That's how it always is with you. But in this case, great atmosphere. 18 down with 13 minutes left. Hadn't scored in 10 minutes. Everything going wrong, and they come back and win it. What did that say about the team, and how exciting was it?
I don't know if I've ever seen or been a part of a game like that. I think it shows the grit, the determination. I sat behind the bench. I will tell you that, Coach Wade is even better than advertised. How he, managed that team and managed, we're down, like you said, we didn't score for 10 minutes. We're down 18, and he just keeps trying to plug.
Trying to find something.
That's right. The right lineup, et cetera, et cetera. The right, came out of a timeout, ran really good things. It was an unbelievable game, and our league should be really excited because, that game, the two heavyweights, if you will, in our conference were playing live on linear ESPN, and it was a great game.
Yeah, it was the showcase game for the league.
Yeah.
It has the two-time champion, the favorite to be champion on the road. It had everything the league could ever want. And it was on a Monday night when there wasn't a lot of competition.
Exactly right. And I'm
everything you guys did to put it on Monday night worked.
Like when we had these meetings, there were some people that were very against playing on Mondays and getting away from doubleheaders. I was a huge proponent of it. Like when you look at the amount of coverage our league has gotten just on the top 10 ESPN on Mondays.
Yeah, Mondays.
I mean, it's just, in my opinion, we should look to play Fridays and Mondays or Sundays and Tuesdays. Whenever there's not as many games on TV, we need to be playing, in my personal opinion.
Friday's not a bad. The problem with Friday is you get into some people in smaller towns will say, well, you're taking away from high school. High school basketball is not a huge deal. It's not like football.
Yeah, and I understand. Look, there's arguments to it. But I'm just saying, like when the Sun Belt went to playing on Wednesday and Thursday nights, everyone thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
Well, but you go into, just like last night, you go to any bar, any hotel around the country, I guarantee you the McNeese Corpus Christi game was on.
Well, you're going to be all three games are on. That's going to be one of the games.
Exactly right.
It
was really cool.
That's how you get the attention.
That's right.
And that's something that people don't. Big Monday was a selling point for ESPN for years. The fact that you guys could become part of that in any way. I know the Big West used it as the late night game in past years.
Yep.
It gets you exposure you would never get before.
Absolutely. And but it was a great atmosphere. Went down there with 8 other boosters that were obviously huge supporters of McNeese and of basketball. It was a great game. I'm just so proud of our guys and what this program is doing, not only for this department, but for this university, from a brand recognition. It's something you can't put a price on.
And you can't put a price on the ending.
It was unbelievable.
You can't have a better ending.
Can't have it.
And we even have the drama of going to the replay. So you got your drama for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was silly because it was obviously it's a good, but Shoemate with this is an interesting thing because the game last night was kind of a redemption for Shoemate, who missed a couple of free throws.
Yep.
You missed a couple of shots that could have actually won the game earlier.
For sure.
You get a second chance. You got Will Wade with the redemption for the year. You got a lot of players coming back here for redemption. That game said a lot about what this team is made of, though.
I think so too. I think that I think this is the perfect team, the perfect coach at the perfect time. I've said that all along, and I think that what Coach Wade has proven and shown is what we can become. There's no, and I say it all the time. There's no reason why McNeese should not be competing for championships in every sport. From our facilities to the way we are funded. Compared to our league, we should be competing. I'm not saying you're going to win a league championship in every sport every year. I'm not unrealistic, but we should have that expectation.
Yeah.
And the coaches who don't have that expectation, probably won't be here because that is the expectation. That is the standard here.
And obviously it's hard to ignore the fact that the tweets began yesterday afternoon.
Oh, sure.
When the DePaul firing came.
Yeah, for sure.
That Wade was going to DePaul.
For sure.
Wade is going to do this. He's going
Every job that comes open, there's going to be tweets about Coach Wade.
So, and
going
that's
somewhere.
a national thing that's going to happen. Obviously, you're working to try to keep him.
Sure.
But the fact that people had said, well, you pay too much, you do this, it's only basketball, that gives you fuel last night to show why you need to do that, right?
100%. I mean, look, it's, there's, Coach Wade's not going to be here forever. I know that. I knew that when I hired him. We have a great relationship. We openly talk about those things. I'm going to make this job as good as I absolutely can make it, where, him and his staff, they like it here. They enjoy it here. But I want to make it as hard for them to leave. And I want it to be where he doesn't have to go to take a step to get to the step. I want him to be able to leave here to go to a place where he can, win a national championship.
When we come back with Hoop Nation, we'll talk about mental health on campus after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
At Lakeside Bank, we specialize in stress-free banking services. Now you can stress less with our Great Escape Spa giveaway. One winner a month can unwind with a relaxing spa package from Scarborough Salon and Day Spa. Then, in December, we'll give away a luxurious relaxation trip for two to Miraval Resort in Arizona. Now that's stress-free. Register today at any Lakeside banking location. Stress less at Lakeside Bank.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It is an honor to have a very unique guest, Kevin Yaudes. Welcome to Poke Nation, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, you have a lot of titles. You have a lot of responsibility, but I like to call you a mental health expert.
Okay.
Tell Poke Nation what your responsibilities are on this campus, and you just have such a unique story, and we really want to bring this to light.
Sure. So I do have a number of titles. I'm an associate professor at McNeese. I teach undergraduate psych and graduate counseling in the Department of Psychology and Counseling. I'm the assistant department head for that department, essentially over things that are clinical, because we have two clinical programs. We have our clinical mental health counseling program, and we have applied behavior analysis program as well. So it keeps us busy. Both of those master's programs have community clinics attached, which is unusual. For our ABA program, it's one of only 5 in the world that have a program with a community clinic attached. And for the counseling program, we have the K. Dorey Counseling Clinic, and that was established on McNeese's campus in 2001 through a generous donation from the Dorey Family Foundation. And we have a dual role with that clinic. The K. Dorey Counseling Clinic, we serve as a community clinic, so we offer counseling to anyone in the community who wants to come and talk about anything for a flat rate of $20 a session.
Yep.
We do have funding from the United Way. We're a United Way partner agency, so we can offer the first 6 sessions at no cost to the client. And so all somebody has to do is call 337-475-5981 to set up an appointment. We're also site placement for our students. So our graduate students in counseling, it's similar to maybe a nursing program. So they have to go through clinicals as well. So it's essentially 3 semesters or 18 months where they're actually working with clients. Right. And the great thing about having a community clinic is that the faculty are right there with the students, so we're able to interact with them on a regular basis.
So Kevin, let me ask you this. So obviously, mental health, it's a hashtag, if you will. A lot of people, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And you hear about it more today probably than you have in obviously in previous generations. Why do you think that is? And what do you think are some of the biggest struggles that our young people and people out here today are dealing with that maybe they didn't deal with in the past?
Okay, so you do hear more about mental health now, and I think one of the reasons is we're starting to address the stigma around mental health. So there's a tremendous amount of stigma around mental health in general, but also seeking mental health services, and that stigma is even greater for men and greater for athletes as well, because there's a lot of pressure to rub some dirt on it, just kind of get through it. Right. But things seem to be changing, which is great because when we talk about mental health too, we talk about it as something that's out there, but we all have it. It's just where are we with our mental health? Right. We're on a spectrum between bad and good. As far as challenges, I think accessibility to services is a big challenge. Seeking, I think another challenge is that, and I hear this all the time from usually friends and people that I interact with in the community, that my problems are too small for counseling, and I hear my problems are too large for counseling. And so most reasons that people would want to seek out counseling, it's going to be somewhere in the middle. And so with mental health, it's similar to physical health, that early intervention is going to be better. Yeah. So if you think you're starting to struggle with something and you seek out counseling services, it might never become a big issue in your life. Sure. You might be able to prevent that from becoming bigger.
You mentioned the stigma to it. How much are you seeing the younger generation, especially students, willing to come in and get help?
Much more willing with the younger generations. They're more willing to talk about it. I know as a faculty member, students will sometimes share that, I'm struggling with my mental health. And then, so we are a community clinic, and for students on the McNeese campus, there's the McNeese Counseling Center where they can access services at no cost to them. So I'm definitely seeing that the younger generations are more comfortable talking about what they're going through, talking about mental health in general.
And did you see an uptick after the hurricanes here of kids, especially students, because so many things changed on campus, seeing a lot of kids willing to get help?
I honestly don't know that it changed, because they are very open to it. And after, all universities went through COVID. We went through something very unique here, 2 hurricanes, ice storm, flooding. And what I think I saw was most people were in survival mode. So I think we all know somebody who's lost their house twice, right? Sure, yeah. And so what we've seen is people just getting through their immediate crisis, and now we're starting to see people really seeking out services.
Do you see, as students in the younger generation kind of accept it, do you see the older generation kind of following them, and they're actually leading the way, the younger generation?
I think the younger generation is leading the way, and I think we're starting to see that maybe some of the older generations, myself included, might be learning a few things from them. One other thing that I saw after COVID and the hurricanes is we were seeing more guys. I personally was seeing more like dudes as clients. And so again, I think maybe people were just dealing with their immediate crisis, and it took some time before they could even feel like they had the time to address their mental health.
Well, Kevin, last thing here before we go. there could be someone out there right now watching Poke Nation that is dealing with something that, internally they know they need some help. Real quick, tell Poke Nation, if you're out there and you need some help and you want to talk to somebody, where do they go?
You can call us at the K. Dory Counseling Clinic. Again, the first 6 sessions will be no cost to the client. Then after that, it's a flat rate of $20 a session. That number is 337-475-5981.
Awesome.
When we come back on Poke Nation, we're going to talk beach volleyball, the new sport on campus, after this.
At Veron Vice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
At Lakeside Bank, we specialize in stress-free banking services. Now you can stress less with our Great Escape Spa giveaway. One winner a month can unwind with a relaxing spa package from Scarborough's Salon and Day Spa. Then, in December, we'll give away a luxurious relaxation trip for 2 to Miraval Resort in Arizona. Now that's stress-free. Register today at any Lakeside banking location. Stress less at Lakeside Bank.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Well, welcome back to Poke Nation, and we have a special guest today, Coach Yasmin, the head beach volleyball coach. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk about beach volleyball.
Well, let's talk about the new sport on campus that everyone is really talking about, beach volleyball. How excited?
I am really excited. I mean, it's been awesome to have, our community support and excitement around beach volleyball already. Some of my girls, they're coming from up north and they get in the airport and the Uber driver, they let them know, yeah, we're on the McNeese beach volleyball team, and they get in the Uber and they're like, oh yeah, like I know about the beach volleyball team. So like just getting more kind of awareness of us having a brand new program here in the Southland Conference and in Lake Charles and kind of like Southwest Louisiana as well is just really exciting for the region and for our sport in general.
And the sport is really emerging, right? I mean, Darth Vader over here and I have talked about that before, about this is the fastest growing sport, right?
Yeah,
collegially.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, last year they expanded the field from, I think it was last year, they expanded the NCAA field from, 8 teams in the tournament to 16, so 17 with a play-in kind of game. So, like, I think it just shows that, like, the growth over kind of, like, the last 5 years of the sport in general across the U.S. and from the club level as well, going out there and recruiting is just amazing, and seeing, more kids specialize in beach volleyball compared to indoor volleyball.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about where you're playing, because everybody thinks beach volleyball is strictly on a beach, but you basically have kind of an arena, don't you?
Absolutely, sir. We are extremely blessed and lucky to have South Beach Volleyball Facility just down the road from us, literally like less than 2 minutes down the road from our main athletic campus. And I cannot tell you how amazing it is to have that as a brand new program compared to some other universities that might not have an established facility or might have to build a facility. So for us to have South Beach, which has, 9 courts, it has a full bar and a grill, it has pickleball courts, like it's not just an athletic, athletic facility kind of thing, it's like a community place where people come together. So, and that's established as well, like I said, that has a community already there who's excited to welcome an official collegiate sport.
Yeah, the people there have talked about it. I've heard a lot of rumblings about the sport, and people are excited about this. because they think it's kind of an offshoot, not only of volleyball, but it's a completely different sport than volleyball.
Absolutely. You know, there's like the obvious changes where it's like 2 people on the court versus 6 people. You have the elements out there that you're competing with. You know, you have athletes who are more well-rounded, I would say, compared to indoor, where you know, student athletes might specialize in a certain position.
Yeah.
On the sand, you have to be able to do everything. You got to be able to dig, set, defend, block, hit, whether you're 5'4" or 6'2", you know? So you got to be a really well-rounded athlete, and I'd say they're some of the, you know, the fittest athletes on campus.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this. So how many of the current indoor players will flip over and play beach?
Yeah, so right now on our current indoor spring roster, we have 2 players who are going to be flipping over to play beach. One of them is Kendall Osgood. She's our DS libero who played for us consistently last season with awesome, like, solid player. She's a junior. She's from California, so she has those beach roots out there. So she was absolutely thrilled that for us to be adding a beach volleyball program and for it to be here in her last, you know, 2 years of college. And then we also have Carissa Cheney, who was our first team all-conference outside hitter, one of our really awesome players on the indoor side, who again is one of those well-rounded players who can hit, pass, defend, block. So she's absolutely thrilled. She played beach volleyball at her junior college in Feather River in California previously. So you know, having beach and indoor available to her, and for her to be able to play both sports, I think was also, you know, a big draw for her moving forward through her career. So really cool and really excited to have both of them out there.
When is, so Poke Nation can know, when is our first match?
Our first match is the opening weekend of beach volleyball season. So it's going to be February 23, 24, and we have some really big, you know, exciting teams coming out here, including Cal Poly, which is consistently like a top 20 team in the nation, and then our reigning Southland Championship winners, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and then we also have Nicholls State, another Southland kind of competition there, and then lastly Tarleton State, which is also a brand new program in Texas.
How many new programs are starting up every year? It seems like you guys are starting up, but there's others starting up, and the league is kind of catching on. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, there's us this year, there's Tarleton as well. UTEP brought in a program last year. They're just kind of popping up all around the nation because, like you said, it is, you know, the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing sports in NCAA. So it's really exciting as a previous beach player as well, and like to play in college, to see where it was, like, you know, when I started playing beach to like where it is now. Just continuing to see, you know, teams pop up. I think Sam Houston is going to be adding a program next year as well. So yeah.
And you talked about how you have to be well-rounded in that. You have to be able to dive a lot more in this and dive into sand and be able to jump in sand. How hard is it to jump on the sand?
It is hard, you know. We sometimes talk about like sand depth and stuff like that because it affects how hard it is to get out of the sand. But they definitely have to be extremely explosive, hit from a high contact point with their like hand contact, no matter how tall they are and things like that, to make the most of whatever height and length that they have to really be explosive out of the sand.
McNeese State beach volleyball starting in just about a month. Another Heath Schwer invention for the school. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Whoa, go. Everywhere I go.
We're back here on Poke Nation. What made you want to bring beach volleyball here?
There's a lot of reasons. One, I think that we have an unbelievable facility, and for that's right down the road that was offered to us. So for us not to utilize it, I think, was a mistake. I thought it was we needed to add additional sports for women. We just needed to. I think that It's the way that the NCAA is going. And I think we can be really good at it. I'd like to add a couple more sports too as we go down, move into the next, 2, 3, 4 years. I think that again it positions you. It allows you to grow as a department, allows you to grow as a university. If we ever want to be FBS, you have to have 16. That gets us to 15. There's a lot of reasons for it. But the main thing is I think we can be very good at it.
No truth to the rumor that it was an easy way for you to be able to watch a sport and eat some wings, maybe right there,
and drink a beer for
drink
sure.
a beer, too.
I will tell you this.
Bring that up.
I will tell you this. There's no question in my mind that I think it's going to be very, very well attended. Those matches are going to be well attended. I mean, think about it. In this culture, in this climate, to go over to that facility that literally has an open bar and watch beach volleyball. I mean,
you'll get casual fans too. They're just there and say, "Hey, what is this? Let me take a look."
100%.
And to market it.
The other thing is it allows us and gives us more inventory for corporate sponsorships.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Wait, do we need to say anything else? Have you sold all the Gatsby tables?
I have 5 left. 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to ask you this question because this is an interesting thing to me. Your football team or your football coaches are out in the state of Louisiana this week, selling the program, trying to kind of reintroduce the new program. Obviously, part of this is Aaron Ingram's idea. But how important is it to get back out there and kind of rebrand yourselves for the students?
It's something that is long overdue. When I hired Aaron, and again, Aaron, duly reports to me and to Coach Goff. There's a reason for that. It was a lack of a better term, a mandate for me. Like, look, when we were really good, we owned I-10.
Yeah.
Okay. From East Texas to New Orleans, we made hay on I-10. And we've gotten away from that. There's a lot of reasons for it, different coaches, all this, but we need to establish those relationships and reestablish those relationships. And it's a thing I talked about right after the season. It's the first thing I talked about with Coach Ingram, and I'm really happy to see that they're doing it, number one, and number two, that they're recording it, if you will, and putting it on social media, because we need to reestablish our football brand and our footprint.
Yeah.
If we're ever going to get back to what we should be, which needs to be next year, those relationships need to be established and reestablished.
Yeah, and it never hurts to go out there to get all the high school coaches. And it's not just, a lot of people think, well, you don't get the freshmen. Hey, you want to establish that because if they leave and it doesn't work out at another school, he's going to come back and talk to his coach. And if you have that relationship, it makes it easier to bring the bounce backs too.
Look, you said it best. And I've said this, from the day the season ended. We have to focus on that corridor because, number one, yes, we're not going to get them all. But if you get kids from that area, I believe they're more inclined to stay if they're young. And if they go to a UL or Tech or wherever and they want to come and leave, like you said, they're going to come home and talk to their high school coach. Yeah. You have to have – life is about relationships, and you have to have them.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. You always talk to your – I still talk to my high school coaches. Mm-hmm. Baseball starts this week on Friday with the first practice. Also the Diamond Dinner.
On Friday,
So you're going to be a busy guy now. You're going to have
Very
the spring
busy.
again.
Very busy. Yep. We got a women's basketball game on Thursday. We got Pokecast on Wednesday.
And the big weekend with New Orleans coming in and the leading scorer Johnson from New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Another big weekend in games after coming up with the miracle on the beach. What are your expectations? Do you think you'll lose a game in the league?
Look, it's hard. Winning conference games is really, really hard. You take it one day at a time. But I know this: we're going to keep our foot on the gas, and we're going to sprint to that finish line.
And don't forget Pokecast to listen to it on Wednesday nights. We'll see you next week on Poke Nation.